Hi guys, and welcome to this our video on solving literal equations. Oh yeah. What on earth is a literal equation? Don't worry about it, we're getting there. My name is Darren Maths Guru. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already done so, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? I'm not going to be rich, I'm not going to be famous, but it does tell me that there is actually somebody watching. Please just click that subscribe button. Head over to Maths Guru and sign up there as well if you can. That's free, and it gives you the videos, downloadable notes, time codes, exam questions, and so much more coming up. What are we doing? Well, by the end of this lesson, I want you to know what a literal equation is. Yes, I always say, it's literally this, and my other half goes, well, is it really literally? And I go, I'm going to beat you to death. I mean, at the end of the day, literal. Yes, but in maths it has a real meaning, right? So literal equations, and know how to solve literal equations. Solve, is that the word? We'll see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in a previous video we looked at actually this question here. Do you remember we were looking for formulas? And it said in that one, find the perimeter of that shape. And we went, oh, okay, we can do that. Perimeter is equal to 4 plus 7 plus x. So the p was equal to 11 plus x, and then we sort of stopped because we couldn't go any further without knowing the value of x. And lo and behold, that there is an example of a literal equation. It doesn't have just a number answer. There are letters and numbers in our answer. That is what a literal equation is. Ka-ching, and you already know how to solve these things by using your CAS calculator and some of the unpacking stuff. So each section of this course gets that little bit more complicated. It builds on what we've done before, but the more practice you do, the better you're going to get. Now, actually, as I say here, I've got my calculator screenshots. They're there to sort of help me, but also show you later on what it was we did. And I'm going to show you how to use the solve function again on your calculator, because when you're solving for a literal equation, you're really just swapping the letter. You're making a different letter all on its own in front of the equals. Now, in many cases, we call that making it the subject of the equation, all right? So we're making it the subject of the equation. Here, what do you notice? We've got the equation x plus 5y is equal to 9. And it wants us to find an expression for x. Now, we'll see how that one goes. But it's basically saying, just let x on its own. So we go back to our unpacking stuff. Is there anything in front of the x? No. So what do? Nothing, we leave it. All right. What about the plus 5y? Can I get rid of that? 100%, because I want the x on its own. So I'm actually going to take away 5y from both sides. Bye-bye, you're gone. Leaves the x on its own. The 9 is already there, and I'm going to subtract the 5y, and believe it or not, that is my answer. Now, in a later video, we call that transposing the formula. I know, thank you, Barry, for once again calling the same process by 14 different names. Yeah, so if you can learn how to do this, you're sorted. How does the calculator do it? Well, again, you put in the expression, or you put in the equation. You say, calculator, can you solve that? Put the comma in to say that's the end, but you want it to be x on its own. You want the x equals, and ka-ching, what comes up? 9 minus 5y. Whoa! Or 5y. What about this one here? Example, if 2a minus 4b is equal to 8, find an expression for a. So what it's saying now is leave a on its own. Now what's a on its own? Well, at the moment, the 2 is stuck to the a, so we're going to leave those 2 alone, and we're going to get rid of this minus 4b first. How do we get rid of a minus? I plus. So we're going to add 4b to both sides, plus 4b to both sides, and that goes bye-bye, you're gone. 2a is left on its own, the 8 was already there, and we're going to add the 4b. Now, what do we want now? Well, the kissing couple can split up, because between the 2 and the a is a times. I want to get rid of that times by 2, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Bye. A is on its own. So now, how do we do this? Well, you can write 8 plus 4b, all divided by 2, or you can divide each of those terms by 2, but you must divide all of those by 2. So if I think about it, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 4b divided by 4 is actually 2b. All right, so 4 plus 2b is my answer. Now again, because we can swap these things around, we want to put the number terms first. So that would be the same as 2b plus 4. Now why? Because in front of that 4 is a little plus, although we don't write it. Yeah, so when an equation starts with nothing, it's always a plus. How did my calculator do this? Well, using the solve function. Again, if you look at my calculator screen, it's gone solve. I've done the brackets, the equation. Don't forget that comma. And in this situation, the a, and it came out with a is equal to 2 dot b plus 4. What does the dot mean? Times. Ka-ching. All right, this is a multi-part question. 2 parts, how exciting. If 3x plus 2y equals 4, find an expression for y. Now don't worry about that calculator display because it looks disgusting, yes? And this is part of the problem with your CAS calculator. Sometimes it overcomplicates things. It makes it look worse than it really is. So find an expression for y. So we've got 3x plus 2y is equal to 4. So what do I want? Y on its own. It's got a plus 2 next to it. So I'm going to get rid of this 3x. Don't forget that plus belongs to the 2. Leave it alone. How am I going to do that? Take away 3x from both sides. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Gives me the plus 2y, but because it's now on its own, I don't need the plus. It gives me the 4 minus 3x. All right, what's between the 2 and the y? A kissy, indeedy. And so I want to get rid of the times by 2. How do I get rid of that? Divide both sides by the 2. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Leaves me the y on its own. Now, 4 minus 3x all on 2. That's how to write that. When you're dividing everything by 2, you have to write it all with that line underneath. 4 minus 3x on 2. Now, in this situation, we can actually split that up. So when you split up fractions, you can split that up as to 4 on 2 minus 3x on 2, yes? Now, so long as you've got pluses and minuses on the top, you can split them up. Now, we know that 4 divided by 2 is 2 minus 3x on 2, and ka-ching. That's my hand done. Now, when I did this on my calculator, solving for y, you'll notice this here was what it gave me. Minus, and then 3x minus 4 all on 2. Just disgusting, all right? And to be honest with you, nah, that's just horrible, yeah? What I then did, or what I then had to do, was use another function provided by my calculator called prop frac, as in turn it into a proper fraction, and lo and behold, you ended up with something quite nice. So if you are going to do these type of questions, you're probably going to want to use the prop frac function to turn it from looking into that disgusting thing there into something a little bit better for us. And again, same thing happened for when we had x. When I solve for x, 3x plus 2y is equal to 4. All right, the 3 and the x are stuck together. Leave them alone. I want to get rid of that plus 2y. So I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides. Bye-bye. Sayonara. 3x is equal to 4 minus 2y. What's between the 3 and the x? Kissy, kissy. So we've got 3 times x is equal to 4 minus 2y. I want to get rid of the 3 times. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And that's going to give me x is equal to 4 minus 2y all on 3. And if you remember, because I've got a minus on the top, I can split this up to become 4 on 3 minus 2y on 3. Is that what the question gave me with my prop frac? It absolutely did, yeah? So again, maybe the learning here is know how to use your calculator for the prop frac stuff. One more example, y equals mx plus c. Actually, you should already have seen that equation before. Yes, it's about finding equations for straight lines. If you haven't seen it, it's going to come up, trust me. So we've got y equals mx plus c. What do I want on its own? M. Well, the m and the x are stuck together. Leave them alone. Ooh, what do you notice? No numbers in this one. Ooh, interesting. Doesn't matter. We can have equations with just letters in it. The same thing actually applies. So y equals mx plus c. M and the x are stuck together, so they stuck. I want to get rid of this plus c, so I'm going to take away c from both sides. Now, again, this is where life is interesting. That's gone. The m and the x are already there, but the y, it's not going to make sense if I write minus c y z. It doesn't make any sense at all. But the y was already there at the front of the queue. So what do I actually have to do? Well, the y just shifts over. I always want the y at the beginning, and then I have the minus c. Okay, so what's between the m and the x? Kissy, kissy, yep. So I get y minus c is m times x. What do I want to get rid of? I want to get rid of the times by x. So I'm going to divide both sides by x. Ooh, he says, and bye-bye, sayonara. M on its own, the y minus c, all divided by x. And again, if I prop frac that, and again I can swap those two over, that gives me m is equal to y on x minus c on x. If you're not sure what I'm doing there with these fractions, there are videos on Maths Guru that will actually show this as well, but it's probably in a lower year level, but it's not a bad thing to watch, and then you'll be like, ah, I get this now. Fabulous. And there we go, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful. Well, it needs to be helpful because funny enough, we're coming up to a section later on called Transposing Formulas, which is exactly the same as this. All right, yes, I know, we just call it by 15 different things. Okay, I'm Darren Maths Guru, thank you very much. Subscribe to Maths Guru. Try that again. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, head over to mathsguru.com, and tell your mates. And I will be deeply, deeply grateful. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.